Welcome to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Here tonight we have the Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series here at the Nashville Super Speedway. Race number 8 of the season 11 here for the Smoke Inc. 200 here at Sim Racing Unleashed. We give a special shout out to the sponsor who helps make it happen here at Sim Racing Unleashed, and that is Budget Sim Boxes. If you're a sim racer on a budget looking for a button box, then Budget Sim Boxes is your source. Budget Sim Boxes is your source of high quality button boxes at an affordable price. You can find them on Facebook by searching Budget Sim Boxes, or look for them in the Facebook iRacing flea market and check them out. Also, I want to give a special shout out to Stephen Leffler, who are still wishing to get well and get back out here on track at some point here at Sim Racing Unleashed and here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We miss you very much, buddy, and hope you get well. So thank you to Steve Leffler and Budget Sim Boxes here at Sim Racing Unleashed. But I am Zach Hall. It is race number 8. Joined alongside me is going to be David Medina. We have Robert Morger, our producer, up in the box. David is back here, race number 8, like I said, here at the Nashville Super Speedway. But one of the things that's a little different than we've seen so far this season, here we're going to see the Next Gen Cup Series car on this new circuit.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see. 200 miles, 150 laps, in this car. So it's going to be interesting to watch these guys just be able to work that car around this track side by side and trying to set up passes and seeing some new faces in this league as well. So that's good to see there. So looking forward to this.
Very much so. Looking forward to it here. Like I said, race number 8 tonight. We've had such a tight points race, for the season so far. As Steven Stippy, he's our points leader coming in here tonight in the 81 machine. He's going to come in here 2 points up on our 2-time defending series champion Mark Whitley. Third place is going to go to Jason Adamson at 26 points back, so he made a gain last week in Martinsville. Dakota Bryant there in 4th, 35 points back, and Dave Bush 5th in points, 36 back. So really from the top 5, only 36 points separating those drivers through 7 races so far. It's been a really tight knit field. It'll be interesting to see who can go and get themselves a win here tonight. We've seen Hunter Hayward win last week at Martinsville with Steven Stippian and Mark Whitley both having trouble there. It was somewhat of a wild card race. We see drivers like Jason Adams break into the podium spots. It was very, very much an interesting one, nonetheless, to say. Here in Nashville, I think we could see some new faces out here because we got some new drivers also.
Yeah, that we do. And, one thing I'm going to be curious to watch is Marco Euro. Just, last week we saw him being able to have the fastest practice and, was running up front and just ran into some issues there on track. And, here he had the fastest practices as well. So we'll see if he can put it together and make a run and get a victory here tonight.
Yeah, we've seen Michael Yard be so quick. He's a name that I think is kind of gone under the radar this season. He's had the speed a lot of times, just not the finishes to go along with it. So we'll see what he can produce here tonight. He's been the fastest so far in this practice session right now. Watching last week's winner from Martinsville put down his qualifying time here, 5 minutes to put down your best time. And I tell you what, I think this place is going to be pretty important for track position, getting out front, because I have talked to a few guys, not that much off throttle time, actually. A good bit of throttle they carry through these corners. It'll be interesting, though, with the fall off as the run continues, though.
Yeah, agreed. And it's going to be interesting to see, how these cars will run side by side, on this track here. So just a lot of stuff to really expect tonight. And, but, we've seen some really fast guys here. And nothing to pay attention to is, I think you alluded to it a little bit earlier, is, Steve Stimpian and Mark Whitley, just some of the challenges they had last week. How are they going to be able to bounce back from that? The points, they're within 2 points of each other too. He's got some really close battles with the top leaders going up there, and then you got Jason Adams, who had a good race last week as well. So this is another week for some guys that have trying to carry some of that momentum off from last week to carry it on here today.
Well, looking as the laps click through, Hunter Hayward, our winner from last week at Martinsville, right now atop the board. As we'll drop here, look at the 37 of Justin Malarkey, newcomer to the league. Here we've seen him before on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, but good to have him here at Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series here, as he's got the 6th fastest time right now on that second attempt for a lap. As another driver making his return tonight who jumps to 4th on the board, that's Cedric Hunter, as Mark Whitley jumps himself from 3rd up to 1st on his second lap. So we're seeing some guys pick up on that second lap here, David.
Yeah, and that was kind of something that it was going to be curious to watch as well. Was which was going to be their best lap on this type of surface here. And it looks like you said, the second lap is going to be the best lap.
You can see Chuck Sweeney. He's going to try to get the momentum build up. It seems like in this 75 machine, as I believe this is actually going to be his first lap, so he's going to be coming to start his second qualifying attempt here, as the first lap going to be completely just to build the speed up. Maybe he figured something out in practice. This is a way to build more speed, run that high line the longer distance around. We'll see what he does. Right now, it's going to put him back in the 11th position with that, or 12th position with that time, just due to running that higher line. Let's see what it produces though here on the second one.
Yeah, he's got a good run here coming into the turn there. So we'll see how his exit's going to be off the corner here, and taking it to the coming out of turn 4. See where he ends up.
Here he comes to the line. Let's see what Chuck Sweeney's going to put himself fifth on the board, directly ahead of Cedric Hunter in the 11 machine. So Chuck Sweeney's second lap going to be a 29.477. Also another newcomer to the league there, up in fourth position in the 300 machine. That is Isaiah Sutherland. As I say that, Michael Yarrow, the fastest man for practice, he backs it up. He puts himself to the top of the board here as we're watching the 55 of Benjamin Butler put down his lap.
I was kind of waiting to see when Mark Yarrow was going to come out, and kind of took his time there. But boy, when he came out there, he laid a great lap. And if you look at the lap of him and Mark Whitley, they're almost identical. So much, I mean, very little difference between a 29.40, 29.40 is what shows up on my timeline.
Yeah, very close, couple hundredths of it, or thousandths of a second, very much, let's say the least. So those two, really nothing separating them so far in the qualifying session. Is we got less than 40 seconds to go here. Anybody trying to get a lap in is going to have to do it here in the next 40 seconds. Yarrow up on top of the board. Whitley going to be second, sorry. Hunter Hayward, winner from last week, third. Steven Stipner, our points leader, fourth. And our newcomer in the 300 machine, Isaiah Sutherland, in the fifth position.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, we got quite a few guys that have yet to put down a lap. So we'll see if they're going to decide just to ride, start off in the back, or if they're going to try and squeeze in a lap before the qualifying ends.
Last few seconds click away here. Looks like now the official ending of qualifying has come to an end. Michael Yarrow going to be our official pole setter here tonight at Sim Racing Unleashes Cup Series from the Nashville Super Speedway. We're going to bring up our qualifying results here tonight to see where your favorite drivers are going to be starting the Smoke Inc. 200. Here it is, our starting grid here tonight. Michael Yarrow starting from that pole position. Alongside him is going to be our second place man in points and the two-time Defended Series champion Mark Whitley. Third is going to go to last week's winner Hunter Hayward. Fourth is going to be our points leader Steven Stippian. Fifth is going to go to the newcomer Isaiah Sutherland. Sixth is going to go to Chuck Sweeney, one of the highest drivers on the circuit. Seventh is going to go to Cedric Hunter. Eighth is going to go to Larry Blair. Ninth is going to go to Justin Malarkey, newcomer here. Also, in rounding out our top 10 is going to be Dave Bush.
And starting off in 11th, we got Robbie Darnell, followed by Benjamin Butler. Coming in 13th, there's on the starting grid, it's going to be Brad Delft, and then followed him by Robert Cheeswick. In 15th, we got Dakota Bryant. So we're going to just keep an eye on him, see how he does moving up the ranks. And then you have Kevin Roy starting 16th, Mike Chamberlain starting 17th, James Bryant starting 18th, and then Clifton Ashley, followed by Jason Adams, and then Mark Koscheck.
And that is your starting grid here tonight for the Sim Racing Unleashed Smoke Inc. 200 from the Nashville Super Speedway. A group of 21 cars ready to do battle for 150 laps, 200 miles around this newer circuit. It's an old circuit with the way how old the surface is, but a new circuit here to iRacing where not everybody has the experience, and it's been a track that is thrown some wild card wins up for us here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting so far. So I'd expect none of the less here tonight, as we're going to have, remember, no fast repairs and only 3 sets of tires sitting in the pit road for the 150 laps. It's going to be a tough 150 laps on these tires.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how these guys strategize, when they're going to use those tires. How many cautions will we get on it? And like you mentioned, there's no fast repairs. So, this type of racing on this type of surface will make for a very, interesting and challenging time being able to make passes.
Passes are going to be fun to watch how they set them up. That's one thing I talked to the drivers they didn't really know how it was going to work early in the run. You know, really watching out for who is going to be on the aggressive side of things, who's going to be more on the defensive side of things. It's going to be all over the place with that for sure. Another thing I had a few drivers tell me, look out for that turn 4 bump. It will get you and put you right to the outside wall.
Yeah, and that's going to be something, to watch. Some of the guys that know about that, they're going to try and run a much different line to try to avoid that bump, or, is it just a way that you might be able to hit it where it doesn't set your car up enough, maybe just, get it, just to loosen up a little bit to help rotate through that corner. So we'll see how many of these guys are aware of that and, what do they decide to do. If they decide to try, ride lower of it, or to try to, hit on a straighter line.
Pace car is in. Smoke Inc. 200 here tonight at the Nashville Super Speedway. Gonna get ready to get kicked off as the green flag is in the air. We're off and away. Mark Whitley with a great start from the outside is gonna have a nose ahead at the line as we head down to turn 1. Yarrow gonna try to storm back from the bottom.
Going into turn 1, and we're still seeing these cars running side by side, doing a great job, giving each other plenty of room. And I think we're going to be seeing this for a couple more laps, and then we'll start seeing maybe stretch out and get single file. But right now, side by side.
The outside lane prevails. Mark Whitley, defending series champion 2-time, I must say, defending series champion. 2 to lead here, to lead lap number 1 of 150 here tonight at the Smoking 200. We're going to have now Hunter Hayward and Steven Stippy, those 2 Smoking cars working the outer groove. Yarrow, our pulsar, slides up off the bottom. Mark Whitley up front. Major mistake for him. He's going to have a big checkup. It's going to be 3 wide for the lead. Hunter Hayward now to the outside. Michael Yarrow going to back out of that position there.
Close contact there. And if they didn't contact, it was awfully close between the 9 and the car on the inside there. But they get it sorted out, and we still see some of these cars 2 or 3 wide going back. But the leader, Hunter Hayward, still up front, still leading Steve Stippy right there in the tail.
Big momentum change there. Hunter Hayward out front. Steven Stippy up the second. Mark Whitley hanging on the third. But there's the battle. Cedric Hunter, Chuck Sweeney, and the 300 of Isaiah Sutherland all battling here in 3 and 4. It looks like it was almost a little contact between the 300 and the 11 as they barely almost make contact, and luckily they both miss. Here comes Cedric Hunter with a big move, but he's going to decide nonetheless here to wait on this outer groove.
Yeah, I think some of these guys will start showing a little bit of patience, as they get a little bit stretched out. But you can already see some of the guys that are having better runs, whether it's off the entry or off the corner exit. Some of these guys are backing up the corners to get a better runner off. So these guys are doing a phenomenal job. They're still racing side by side.
Everybody fighting for spots. It was a little bit of a slide for Chuck Sweeney last time in turn 1 that really checked this group up. But now Cedric Hunter going to be fighting the looks like the 50 or the 37 there of Justin Malarkey here for that 7th spot. Not able to go forward. Here's Dave Bush. Can he give him the push forward he needs as he fights back on the inside down to 3? But it looks like that outside lane has been the preferred groove to make passes.
Yeah, you're right. It seems like that outside groove is a better line. I think they might lose a little bit on if you have somebody on the outside, taking away your exit speed there. But definitely on the entry, the guys that we have a caution here.
And it looks like it's going to be James Bryan in the 52 machine going around here to bring out the first caution of the night on lap number 6 here, or the conclusion of lap 5 there, the start of lap number 6, as James Bryan has lost his race car off of turn 4 and is spun it down onto the pit road access road. Luckily, no major damage for James Bryan, I believe, other than really the major hit to the side of the wall that bounced him off there, but it could have been a lot worse for him. They'll be looking to get that car worked on here early in this race.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder if he found that bump that everybody was talking about, if that's what upset his car. But it is early in the race, so they'll be able to recover from this.
Early in the race is definitely when you want your mistakes to happen, if they're going to. Man, first caution of the night. We're under the yellow flag. Hunter Hayward was able to get the lead. Steven Stippy able to get the second. Smoke Inc. right now at 1-2 in the Smoke Inc. 200. That's got to feel good for these 2 teammates. And I'm really starting to think the passing is going to be tough. When that outside groove is really the preferred way to go in passing, it tells me it's going to be a tough night if you get a run on somebody.
Yeah, I agree. I think that passing is going to be definitely a challenge and stuff. But you can see these guys on the inside lane, they get a decent entry, but when you have that car on the outside, they get such a run off there that it just takes away the exits for the car on the inside.
Very, very wild stuff here. I imagine these restarts too. This usually where this next gen car kind of shines, in my opinion, is the area of where the restarts happen. You know, the tires cool down. You can get really aggressive with your restarts. I would not be surprised to see someone try to attempt something here, but because everybody, yet to take tires there after that caution. You don't want to waste one set when you only have three on pit road, and everybody gonna have a little bit of wear on the tires. It could shake up this restart a little bit with Hayward out front.
Yeah, and so far, you just be kind of curious to see. It looks like we might have a couple of guys that came down. We probably just got fuel, but yeah, you definitely don't want to use up your tires this early in the race. You want to kind of stretch it out. But if this caution was a little bit farther into the race, we probably would have seen a little more strategy being played out. But early on, maybe the come cars at the back just go get fuel and try and stretch out their run.
Yeah, one driver who really dropped back really majorly there was Larry Blair in the 73. That from that start there, he went from 8th to 12th, so losing a major amount of four positions there in the early go, while Jason Adams makes up his four positions starting back in 20th. Jason Adams, we always see him climbing through the field third in points, always starting out back, but at the end of the race, nearing that top 10 and possibly top 5.
Yeah, he's done really well at doing that, and just climbing up the ranks, being patient, starting in the back, working his way up towards the front, and like you said, we already seen him move up 5 spots. We've seen Mike Chamberlain move up 3 spots, and Brad Delth, who's moved up 4 spots. So the guys up front, not a whole lot of change going up there. You still have Michael Yarrow sitting there in third spot, then Mark Whitley there. So not a whole lot of movement or gains on the front side.
Well, pace car lights are off. We're going to go back green flag racing this time by here at the Nashville Super Speedway. Smoking 200, race number 8 of season number 11 here at the Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series. Thank you all for tuning in here as always at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. If you're enjoying the race so far, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to us here on our YouTube page. Pace car is in. We're looking for the green flag now. Green flag is in the air, and we're off and away as Hayward going to lead us to the line here up front. Going to pull a nose ahead of teammate Steven Stippian, but going to pull ahead here, possibly looking to try to help him, but not getting him the clean air. That's going to give Mark Whitley the run here to the inside. He's going to fight strong on this bottom.
Yeah, definitely open the door there for Mark Whitley to make a run inside there, and now we're seeing again 2 by 2 in the first 5 rows back there. It's Mark Whitley and Hunter Hayward continue to battle out up front.
Off a 4, Hunter Hayward going to have the power from the outside line, but Mark Whitley with a good run on the bottom. He's able to pull dead even with them as they head down to 1 and 2. Whitley trying everything in his power to pull ahead here to take the lead, but not going to have enough run. It's still side by side with Hayward and engine forward.
Yeah, we see Steve Stippian there gain a little bit on that number 300 Isaiah car there on the outside. So just talking about the 2 preferred line, the preferred line, and that outside definitely on exit helped them make clear way as you start getting on the bumper of Hunter Hayward now.
Stippian trying to help his teammate in the 48 of Hunter Hayward here get to the lead, but Hayward not able to get it done. Maybe down the back straightaway with the help of anyone. He may just be able to clear. Yes, he does, but here comes the 77 back to the inside, trying to make his life tough here early in the going.
Yeah, coming off the exit there, still racing side by side as you see Hunter Hayward and Mark Whitley going side by side, followed by Isaiah and Steve Stippian. And still side by side, if you can see it right there from the camera to the backside, the next 4 or 5 rows, looking side by side as you see Mark Whitley finally making it clear Hunter Hayward.
A little bit of contact possibly between the 300 Isaiah Sutherland, who makes the big move to stick his car to the outside groove with Michael Yarrow, and that's going to push him up the groove. And now Yarrow by him in the 9 machine, the 300 dropping back. That's going to put Cedric Hunter up now the 4th.
Yeah, you can see these guys just trying to stay close. So it looks like Hunter Hayward gets a little bit better entry going into the corner, but Mark Whitley just able to get a better exit off. But these three guys, they're racing out front. This is what we see with these guys all the time. So, don't expect nothing less, but keep an eye on that number 11, Cedric Hunter, as I'm sure he'll continue to work his way up there and try to join that fight.
Yeah, he'll be definitely learning as this race goes on. I know he doesn't really understand these next-gen cars yet. That's one thing he's told me as a teammate, and this is something maybe to possibly learn him here as being able to come back out here on Sunday nights with the way his schedule is now. So we should see that 11 car out here more often at SRU. It's going to be fun to see. It's right now working in that 4th spot, like you said. We'll see if he can figure something out throughout this race as our top 3 all on top of each other.
Yeah, just giving an update on Jason Adam. He's now up 6 spots to the 14th spot there. So still chugging away and still marking off one at a time there. And then give out the shot to Justin Malarkey. Up about 2 or 3 spots now. So doing a fantastic job of his first racing with these guys. As we were watching the 11 and the 9 of Michael Yoro, just trying to battle it out between them.
Here it is, the 300 Isaiah Sutherland. He's trying to hold off Chuck Sweeney in the 75, who's letting Malarkey now get past for that 6th spot. This is going to let Chuck Sweeney possibly also buy for the 7th spot, the 300, going back very quickly. Maybe he used up some of those tires, but we're seeing Dave Bush now under attack from Benjamin Butler in the 55.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just about the right spot. We'll see, some comers and goers. The guys that have maybe taken a little bit easier on their stuff, the guys that have probably put their tires to the test, and we'll see how these cars kind of share out between that. But so far it's a really good, clean race and side by side, and we've seen these guys for several laps being able to race side by side on this track, which is pretty impressive. So only one caution so far, so we've got a long ways to go. But so far, Mark Whitley and Hunter Hayward still battling out up there.
Yeah, they are battling really hard for that lead up there. Mark Whitley, Hunter Hayward was to the inside. Whitley really side drafted him in the corner. Here comes Hayward back down to the inside. And Cedric Hunter's found that upper groove. He's trying to get to the outside of Stevie step in here to 81 and go forward as this Hello Kitty machine is really on the prowl now.
And definitely as we come to the lap 19 here, and we're still seeing Mark Whitley, Hunter Hayward, Steve Sempian, and Cedric Hunter now. Hunter now up 4 spots. So having some really good lap times. Just slightly slower than the leaders, but I'll tell you, all the way through up through Justin Malarkey, their lap times are really, really close. And then Chuck Sweeney's lap time, just sitting there at the 29.81. So I won't be surprised to start seeing him start crawling up to the front.
Yeah, I would not be surprised either, David. Right now, you can see him. He's really worked his way up to that 2nd spot very quickly and is now cleared for 2nd. Cedric Hunter up to 2nd here in his return to SRU. Hunter Hayward and Steven Stippian, the 2 teammates from Smoke Inc., strapped on the inside there. It is not working out for those 2 drivers.
Yeah, definitely not. And, again, we talked about the number of sets of tires that they have here, as we see these guys going on this track, and, just kind of, again, questioning as to, what are these guys' strategies going to be for making the pit road entries and stuff like that. I'm sure we got several laps to go before we'll see that. But, with the green flag runs that they've had, these guys are going to have to start thinking about some green long runs and, how they're going to play out their strategy. Now, that definitely doesn't look like it's going to be, a lot of cautions, which is great to see, as we continue to see, Hunter and Steve Sempian here, racing towards the front there.
Yeah, this is allowing Justin Malarkey, Chuck Sweeney, all these drivers, that 300 hours here, Sutherland, Brad Delph, multiple drivers, Michael Yara, all to come into the picture here as that battle for third continues on. Right now, though, Mark Whitley, Cedric Hunter up front, 22 laps in. That fuel strategy is going to be interesting. It's either, I think, going to happen at lap 50 or lap 75. If they can do a 1-stop, they're going to do that. But if they have to 2-stop this thing, it's most likely going to be around lap 50.
Yeah, I'm sure, for some of these guys, just, kind of play it by ear as to how everything unfolds and stuff. But just kind of looking at Mark Whitley at 29.94 in his last lap. Cedric Hunter at 30.02, and then Justin Malarkey, who's up to 3rd. He's 6 spots to 29.85.
What a debut for the 37 machine, up to that 3rd spot and cruising right now behind the 11 of Cedric Hunter. He's also got last week's winner Hunter Hayward and Steven Stippian directly behind with the 300 Isaiah Isaiah Sutherland and Chuck Sweeney back here in 6th and 7th.
Yeah, and got some good battles. We see Mike Yarrow here falling behind on the behind the 14th car there, but Jason Adams now moved up to move that 7 spots to 13th position. So doing another fantastic job of taking care of his car as we see him running on the outside lane here, trying to gain on Dave Bush on the outside. So really close contact there on exit, no contact at all, but just really good racing between these guys. It looks like Jason Adams is pretty comfortable running that outside line.
Yeah, that outside line, he's really making it work there. I'm surprised he does this every single week, it seems like, Jason. Or it's not Jason, sorry, David. He just really seems to, start from the back of the field, but work his way through it and show the points. He goes 3 wide to the outside. I don't know if that's going to work. That's up in no man's land.
Yeah, I think he thought a little bit better of it, as he starts sticking his nose out there. But you're right. I mean, we see this the last several weeks where you're, I don't know if just qualifying efforts is just not, some of his strong suit is. But boy, when he gets in a race, he takes care of his car and, is able to get, pick off the car one at a time, and work his way up. And we're kind of seeing the same thing here. So right now he's kind of boxed in, he's having to be real patient to try and make the next move. But you can definitely see that he's getting the runs on these guys.
He wants to make that 3 wide action work. We would love to see it. Dave Bush, though, he's tried everything in his power to hold off Robert Cheswick here for that 12th spot. But Jason Adams is trying to go by both of them here. He looks again to the outside groove. I don't know if that's going to be continually an option for him, as that's going to continue to mess up the tires. As here comes Clifton Ashley in the tin machine.
Yeah, he definitely closed up there pretty quick. So interested to see that. But now we're starting to get a traffic jam here between behind Dave Bush and them to see these guys are able to get it worked out. But we see that Dave Bush is in Jason Adams now starting to settle in, and Ashton starting to work that bottom line. So we'll see if Jason Adams will be able to do anything and be able to try the bottom line to get past Dave Bush.
This is some of the best action on all of the racetrack. Jason Adams, Clifton Ashley. Oh, man. The 12 of Kevin Roy, the 53 of Dave Bush. There's so many drivers involved in it here, as everybody trying to go forward here on lap 29. Jason Adams couldn't make the outside lane work. He paid for it and has lost multiple spots and not gained really anything, as now he goes to the inside Dave Bush.
Yeah, I think he saw the other car just making the pass down below, and obviously Dave Bush was not going to give up that exit on the high line and stuff, so he had to try something different. So we'll see what happens with him if he's able to pass. But we see here that the number 10 and the number 12 car there just be able to make their way up towards the front now.
Man, Robbie Darnell, Dakota Bryant, the 58. Jason Adams, they're almost all 3 wide again. As now Adams is going to drop back to the 18th position. Just not the tires for liking here now, as he was going forward. He's going backwards now, as up front it's our top 5 who have broken away.
Yep, they definitely have. And number 14 car that Brad Delp came 6 spots up. So kind of taking a look at the front 5 cars running here, and Steve Stippian still hanging in there strong. I think these guys are going to be pretty content right now, just being able to run up front, continuing to learn, and to find out where their opponents are maybe not as good as they are, and trying to figure out where down the line they can make those passes.
You can see right here, all our top 5 all directly in line. Malarkey, the last place car of this line, there in that 5th position. But even stepping our points there, last week's winner, Hunter Hayward, one of our multiple time series winners, Cedric Hunter up here in 2nd, and then Mark Willie out front as our 2-time defending series champion. It's a stacked group of drivers. One thing I saw there that last time was Cedric Hunter tried something different down the corner. I don't know if it'll work for him.
Yeah, I'm just kind of watching these guys run their lines and stuff. These guys are really all, pretty much nose to tail and stuff. Even when they're coming into the corner entry here, you just see them just running all basically the same line. And normally that kind of, on the cars behind there usually upsets your car, usually get a little bit tight and start sliding that nose and stuff. These guys don't seem to be losing any time at all.
Not too much time at all, for sure. And, I talked to a few guys. It's now Malarkey trying to make the pass on Stippian there for 4th. He's going to have to back out of that as Stippian holds on. They said it was so tough to make a pass just to how tight it was balance-wise with this car. So as the run goes on, I think that's going to get worse for these guys also. So, man, the passing is going to be tough to do, but we've seen it been doable so far. It's been a great race.
Yeah, it has been 34 laps, and these guys have really done a solid job in racing each other hard, and racing each other clean. But like you said, these 5 guys have pulled out a lead up the way through the 6th position. Then it drops down to about a 4.5 second lead, to the 7th position.
Yeah, everybody trying to make spots. There's always contact between Whitley and Hunter for the lead, and no caution. They're going to continue on green. Oh, man, major contact between those two down in 1 and 2. Hunter made the move to the inside. Whitley given one lane there. It's Cedric Hunter sliding up into him and causing that contact. That's going to be major for our second place man in the points of Mark Whitley.
Yeah, that was definitely a tough break and definitely a hard hit to the outside wall there. So really surprised there was no caution at all, but they did a good job of keeping it from spinning out. But definitely a lot of damage for both those cars. Like we were talking about earlier, the cars just get really, really tight and then start sliding up. I think that's kind of what we saw there.
Calamity happening here around lap 35. Man, oh man, our 2 top race contenders there taking each other for a wild ride down in the 1. It looks like Whitley, he's brought it down the pit road while Cedric Hunter continues to ride out on track. 10th place, 6.7 back from the lead where they made contact at. Whitley, though, going to hit pit road. Looks like he's getting tires and stuff done to his car, so ready to just go ahead and get some tires.
Yeah, like we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, real fast repairs, so they're going to have to try and get as much damage as they can fixed, in pit road and see what they can get done and make the best of the rest of the race. But definitely a hard hit, and for our person in second place in points, Mark Whitley, out there closing it down to 2 points. This could be a big hit for him.
It very well could be, Dave. It's such a tough spot to be in for him, David. And, he's got David on the left and the right side. He's sitting on pit road. I think his night may be quickly over as it's early into it out front from the lead. And, this is something Marcus had to deal with for multiple races, it seems like, where he's been involved in incidents that have took him out of the finish that he has wanted to get in. Man, luckily for him, it's happening in the regular season right now. But at the end of the day, you can't have that stuff happen in your playoffs where it could be detrimental to it. But I'm sure, major mistake there from Cedric Hunter. I'm sure Mark Whitley not too happy about that for sure.
Yeah, I just, especially just 2 weeks in a row, just having a rough race. Definitely takes a toll on you and stuff like that. So he's got to feel like he's one of those drivers with the mark on his back and just have to jump over and over again. So I'm sure some frustration is settling in for him.
Definitely some frustration settling in. Is the 24 here? Oh man, Jason Adams almost into the door of the 53 of Dave Bush. And there's the 52 of James Bryant, goes to the inside. Now this is some great racing we have back here for position. These two battling for 17th, 18th. Here comes Dave Bush with a big run ahead of Steve with the 52 of James Bryant as they all battle for the 17th spot.
Yeah, you would think that we were just watching the race, the race for the lead there between these 3 guys as hard as they were battling there. But it just goes to show, how much every position here matters, and you got to get it when you can. And these guys are definitely demonstrating that as we see the 24 going back on the inside on Dave Bush.
Man, oh man, what a great race we've had here, David. With these drivers in the back, they've really put on a show for us. While all that happened, we stayed green, no yellow on the racetrack, with our 2 leaders getting into the outside wall with contact between them. That's going to put Hunter Hayward up front. Our winner from Martinsville, Steven Stippy, and his teammate there, Smoking, for the 1-2. But I can't forget, newcomer to the league here, not newcomer to Freaky Fast Broadcasting, and definitely been up on the podium before in there. That is Justin Malarkey. So right now running in that 3rd spot, that is great for him in his debut race.
Yeah, definitely a good debut race for him, and being up front in 3rd position, gaining 6 spots, just got to take his time and I've had the pleasure of racing with Justin Malarkey and actually I've been teammates with him. So very good driver. So not too surprised to see him up front. But it's a long race. He's just keep doing what he's doing. Racing with some of the really fast guys up there with Hunter Hayward and Steve Stippian. So it could be a good time for him to put his skills to the test here with these two guys. But doing a fantastic job so far, 44 laps.
He really, really is. You're able to keep up with these top two. Is behind them. Chuck Sweeney is 3.7 seconds back with Brad Dell 5.5. Man, you can get close, it seems like, but it's tough to make the pass. I think that's why you see Cedric Hunter so aggressive to try to make the move. Is you don't get many attempts at the move, it seems like.
Yeah, and like we were talking about, they're already talking about getting tight and just continue to burn fuel. That car is just going to continue to get tighter and tighter. So really going to have to pick and choose your passing times, really carefully. And it's going to be really hard coming off the corners there to try and make a stick.
And we're riding on board with Malarkey. You can see he's looking to the back deck lid of our points leader, Steven Stippian here on lap number 46. I mean, it's just, again, such an impressive showing for him to come out here on debut, first time at a league, start back in ninth, not only that, and move up to third, and do it very graciously and patient, causing no issues, no crazy moves to get up there. He's had a fantastic race, and the two teammates look like they're getting a little dicey here as we hop on board with Stippian.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Hunter Hayward and Steve Stippian are probably looking in the mirror going like, who is this guy? Where did he come from? But just hanging in there with these two guys. But yeah, these two teammates basically, they're racing hard and stuff, but not racing each other hard right now. Rightfully so. Plenty of racing to go. So, we see Steve Stippian kind of slide up the hill there. I'm just wanting to get a little bit tight to be behind his teammate.
You can see it. It's just so tough to follow, David. I mean, he just lost so much ground to just let Malarkey get that position. Now he'll have a shot at him. We'll see what he can do with this second spot now, but it seems like being out front is being really critical right now as Hayward. Oh, you can see Malarkey. He misses it too. He's going to slide up the groove. This is going to give Stippian the shot back for second place. So kind of the swap over, and here comes the draft from the teammate of Hayward to give down low. This may help him out heading down the one. We'll see side by side here for a second.
Yeah, and Malarkey's been going into the corner a little bit higher, like a half a car higher, but that last one, yeah, you're right. It looks like he definitely missed it, and they kind of paid for the price there off the turn four.
And again, Hayward trying to help his teammate, but Malarkey running good on that high line. It's so tough to pass on that bottom. And right now, Stippian paying the price for giving that second spot up. He hadn't been able to get it done, even with the help of the draft from teammate Hunter Hayward. It's still tough. The 81 fighting strong for that second spot.
Yeah, they definitely are battling hard up there, and just kind of keep an eye on them. There's 75 there. He's had the faster laps than the guys in the front of our leaders and stuff. So keep an eye on Chuck Sweeney.
Chuck Sweeney definitely closing the gap down in that 75 machine. We'll see what he can produce as we look back at him now. He is about 3.5 seconds back from the leaders here as, again, they continue to race side by side for that second spot. Chuck Sweeney taking time out when they race side by side like this.
Yeah, I'm sure Hunter Hayward just kind of enjoying these guys just running. These guys running each other as hard as they have been and stuff, but these guys for Chuck Sweeney and Lady Blair, it's just going to give them an opportunity to try and close that gap up some and catch up to those leaders. So it's a great battle on the front side, but just kind of wondering how it's going to help up close up some of this gap.
I do not know how these guys are still side by side for a second. It's amazing. It's Yarrow. He makes the move here, trying to get to the inside of Benjamin Butler here in the 55. He's going to get past him, move himself back up to 6. But again, look at this side by side. Since we've cut away and cut back, they have not left side by side, and it's let Hayward just drive away. These two having somewhat of a battle here.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, Hunter Hayward was probably just fine with these guys racing as hard as they are, but he's allowing them to stretch his legs out a little bit. But we've already seen a couple of guys. Looks like we've seen Chuck Sweeney go ahead and go down pit road. So here at lap 52, I think is when he came down. So just start seeing some got cars driving down the pit road.
It looks like pit stop's going to definitely start to transpire here as they look at that finally. About 4 or 5 laps of side-by-side racing, the 37 Malarkey holds on to second here. Stimpy trying to fight his way back by, but it's allowed Hayward to open up over a 1.1 second gap back to these drivers. We'll see if they can draft back up to him, or does Hayward have the pace to continue to run on? I mean, what a show that would be to get back-to-back wins in your return here to SRU.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see, as we see Steve Stimpy just all over the bumper of Justin there as they get ready to go into the corner there. So, but yeah, we're going to see these guys will now work together to try and close that gap back up to Hunter Hayward.
And this is great to see here as it's action all over this 1.33 mile circuit here at the Nashville Super Speedway. It's been a pleasure to call all the action here tonight. We're having some pit stops starting to transpire here around lap 55. We're going to go to a quick commercial break up here in Freaky Fast Broadcasting and keep it side by side for all you folks at home so you can watch along at the action as they all hit pit road. We'll be back in a few moments. I'm good to go. Freaky Fast Broadcasting is brought to you by ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. Make sure you head on over to ButtKicker.com where you can use the promo code FreakyFast20 to get 20% off of any purchase there at ButtKicker. Thank you for ButtKicker for being a proud sponsor here at Freaky Fast. Back to the racing action out on the racetrack. It's been wild up to this point here, lap 64. We've seen a few drivers pit, but our top drivers still yet to hit pit road. This makes me question if they can get the 75. I think you're going to see most drivers take it to that point.
Yeah, I think you're right. You were mentioning about that earlier, that we could see some car, some of them pit around 50, 52, or if they could make it to 70, 75. If they did, it'd be a one-stop show for them. And looks like you're on top of your game, but these guys look like they're definitely going to be trying to stretch it, and maybe try to make it a one-stop.
Everybody trying to make it to that 75 point to make it a one-stop race. Oh, look at this here. Cedric Hunter. He was running second early in the going. Made the move to take the lead from Mark Whitley. Major damage on that leather machine contact with the 77, who is, again, I believe, he's still sitting on pit road with damage. So he's still getting that thing fixed up. It's been a long night for Whitley. 29 laps down back at 21st. That is definitely going to hurt him points-wise. The battle back here between Clifton, Ashley, and Mike Chamberlain heats up as these guys going side by side. Really hard battles.
Yeah, definitely hard battles going up front. And, just looking at some of these other guys, Kevin Roy, the number 12 car, sitting in 4th position, having a great run so far. Brad Delp, who's up 8 positions, is currently sitting in 5th place. Dakota Bryant up 9 positions, sitting in 6th place. And then you have Clifton Ashley up 12 positions, sitting in 7th place. So some really good run. And you've already talked about Cedric, just him and Mark really getting contact there. And just not a good night for either one of those right now.
Yeah, another thing we got to account for this too, David, is we did have a caution earlier in this race, so that could be what's playing to the factor where these guys can make it on the fuel. But what they got to know is that if they don't get a caution for the next run, they will not be getting that the same fuel mileage. So hopefully they know that and they've got that all planned out. So watch the Cedric Hunter, Mike Chamberlain battle there. As I say, Hunter's going to get around him for the 8th spot. But yeah, it could be interesting with the fuel mileage here if they think they can make it that full 75 only because of that caution.
Yeah, that brings up a great point. Yeah, if the second half of the race, we go caution free, that could definitely affect, what happens, fuel mileage wise. But we got guys that have pitted from lap 51, lap 60, lap 63, all over the place. We saw Michael Yarrow, who pitted on lap 63, so he's already made his first stop. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to play out, like you said. If they could barely make it in 75 and that caution helped them, well, they're going to need another caution in the second half to make it the rest of the way.
Right now, everybody in the pit cycle of making it through. Top 10 yet to pit so far. 10 cars on the lead lap as everybody cycles around here on lap 68. And actually 70. So Hayward right now, he's nearing that point, and he's opened the gap even up front. He's almost up to a 2-second lead now. As he's what a return it's been for Hunter Hayward. He could possibly look for 2 in a row here at SRU.
Yeah, definitely a great story return for him to be able to come back, and if he can get this win here as well. But just kind of talking about Steve Stippian and Justin Malarkey, we saw them racing side by side and swapping second and third place back and forth, and now they've kind of settled in with Steve Stippian running second and Justin Malarkey running in third position.
Yeah, Malarkey definitely started to fall back as this run has continued on. Now 4.8 seconds back from leader Hunter Hayward. As we're looking now at our second place man, Steven Stippian, he's 2 seconds back, but he's got some traffic here in front of him. He's got, I believe that's James Bryan in the 52 directly ahead. He's going to try to make the move around the outside here. The 52 is trying to do everything in his power to get around. It looks like he will get it done. There's Chuck Sweeney coming by in the 75 machine. He's got major nose damage, so maybe something happened to him there. He's one of our early pitters.
Yeah, definitely curious to see what happened there as far as his nose there, but we still see Hunter Hayward, running around out there. And one thing we were talking about, you mentioned earlier about some cars coming up, up against some, some lap down cars, and they're going to try hard to try to stay on the lead lap, but that always opens up doors and makes the leaders real nervous when they're trying to race these cars and put them a lap down. And all it takes is for one of these cars just kind of slip up, get a little bit tight, and then make contact with that leader.
Watching everybody continue to race around the Nashville Super Speedway here at SRU. You can see, look at the difference in new tires here. That's the 14 of Brad Delph around the outside of Cedric Hunter, who looks like he's hitting pit road here on lap 73. That's a question mark for me, because if that is as far as he can go right here, he will not be able to make it to the end of this race. Same for Hunter Hayward, same for Steven Stippian, as they all hit pit road that time. Malarkey still out there on the racing circuit. He's completed 74, now up to start lap 75. If they are all this close here on this fuel, they got to remember they had to have that caution to get to this point. The drivers who pitted early could be sitting in a great spot when this all shakes up.
Yeah, this is the part of the race where we get to see just pit strategies and how they all shake out and play out. And you alluded to it earlier. These guys made it to lap 73, but that was with the caution, so they couldn't even make it to lap 75 to make it a one-stop race. So now with the second half of the race, if we do go green, how many laps will they be able to go before they have to shorten it?
That will be the question for sure. Malarkey still continuing on. If Malarkey continues on for a good, considerable amount of laps, this will give us knowledge that you can go farther than that 75 point. But how much farther is going to be the key. Here comes Malarkey this time. So lap 76 for him, one lap farther than that 75 marker. He'll be the one in the best position fuel-wise when it comes down to the end of this race here. And Malarkey going to hit pit road from the lead as we're watching Jason Adams and Dakota Bryant battle here in the free hugs machine, the 58 and the 24.
Yeah, free hugs being given out tonight as well, but we see Jason Adams, just doing what he's been doing all night long, and that's running that car, on the higher groove there, and getting that run on the outside lane, and just makes that pass feel really easy. So he's having another good run.
He really is, man. He just does it week in and week out. As here's Brad Delph, Kevin Roy, their battle on the back straightaway here, as they're in the 10th and 11th position right now. Delph is pulled up to Roy, who is also caught up to Clifton Ashley. It looks like Ashley is actually one lap farther down than these drivers back in the 19th position. So a battle's going on here between different style cars. Dakota Bryant, though, he's going to be the last one to hit pit road here on lap 78. So what a drive for him there in that 58 machine to get that far.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. With these guys being able to stretch it out and as far as they have, and now we have Jack Sweeney, who's leading this race, who's up 5 positions and stuff. He last pitted on lap 51, so he's definitely got to make another pit stop. But right now he's just gonna be out there leading the race, followed by Hunter Hayward.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting position for Chuck, and it's going to cycle him to the lead with a pretty decent gap here. He does have major damage on that car, so I think the gap could have been bigger. But man, nonetheless, if he can get to that lap 100 mark where he wants to pit at, that could, this could spell very well for him here if these other guys have to pit again, because they're going to have less, more and more time he makes up on with the earlier he pits.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I say. It's gonna, all these different strategies, that are out there is really gonna make it for the interesting finish of this race as to who's gonna be able to make it. Who's gonna try and stretch out the field to get all the way to the end. And then other guys that are gonna have to pit. When they do so, are they be able to get on the pit road clean and get out clean and be able to use those fresh tires to make up that time. So this is gonna be a lot of different scenarios playing out.
There definitely will be so many different scenarios here right now. Is the first time across the line, Chuck Sweeney, he's going to be 9.2 seconds ahead of Hunter Hayward and Steven Stippy, and those two who are grouped up together, really working together, kind of drafting. That's what's going to help build their speed. And right there, a 0.8 of a second gap they closed in one whole lap. And very impressive looking from the 48 to 81 as they're going to be up to the lead very quickly.
Yeah, I was taking a look at the last times here for Chuck. His last lap was 30:55, and Hunter Hayward was a 29:71. So, we're looking at about a second difference, on these lap times. So, yeah, he was out there, but I don't know how long he'll be able to stay in the lead.
Chuck Sweden holding on for everything he's got. He's going to definitely be hoping for a caution with the damage he's got on that race car. Also, as after all this is cycled through, Larry Blair, he's going to be coming out in fourth in the 73 machine. You're going to have Michael Yarrow back in fifth in the 9 car, and Justin Malarkey, who really lost a lot of time. He's going to be all the way back in sixth, about 19 seconds back from Chuck Sweden.
Yeah, it was like some of the pit times for Justin Malarkey was 16:20. So Hunter Hayward was the 15:50. So just kind of interesting there. Some of the pit times there, just a difference.
Very different lap times for sure as they go by Cedric Hunter there, and that's going to put them past the 11 machine, who is a lap down. Major right front damage on the front of that machine that has really slowed and hampered his race cars. Here it is, Stimpy and Hayward continuing to battle. They got Mark Whitley there, also back out on track 31 laps down. Here comes those two battling, and oh man, they look like they may have shenanigans, the 77 and the 11.
Yeah, definitely watching these guys run, as we see the number 11 there trying to take it inside and make the pass there. But real quick, I want to give a shout out to number 33 of the Mark Koscheck there. He's up 11 spots. He's our biggest mover so far tonight, and just having a fantastic run so far in the 10th position.
Really good run for sure for Mark Koscheck, as he's broken into that top 10 in the 33 machine. It's going to be a wild night where drivers are going to be able to get spots I think that they possibly normally didn't think they could have, because just how green flag it's been here. If you can just stay out of trouble, have no mistakes on pit road, you could come home with a really good finish, I think, for a few of these guys who started farther out in the back.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes you got guys that they're just really good at taking care of their stuff and really set up for long runs. And if that's the case, that's setting up right into these guys' these guys' hands. And we've had some very long green runs and stuff. And then you have guys like this. You have Hunter Hayward and Steve Sipian, guys like them that it don't matter if it's a short run or a long run, they're just really good. And we've seen them in the front, week after week. And so we're going to be seeing these guys, battling it out as we drop back here and see these guys running. I just want to kind of talk about Michael Yarrow. We talked about him some of the qualifying efforts that he's done. Being able to qualify towards the front and stuff, but somehow just during the races he gets caught up in something or just doesn't have the race speed to put it all together and get up there for a win and stuff. So he's struggling a little bit. Looks like he got some damage on the right side of his car, but hopefully he'll be able to turn this around and keep climbing his way back up to the front as he's running 5th position right now.
Yeah, Yarrow, he's that sleeper, man. You never know when he's going to sneak up. I mean, qualifies on the pole, loses the lead straight off the start of the race. Hasn't really shown the pace he probably has wanted shown, but at the end of the day, if we get a caution or something, we know how good a short run pace he has. He could possibly put himself still in position with some good track position here to work his way back up. Same with Larry Blair there in the 73 machine. He's done a great job. He was at one point back all the way far enough in 12th. So back up the 4th for Larry Blair after starting 8th. That's a great comeback for him.
Yeah, definitely a great comeback for him. And, same with Mark Yarrow. I mean, just sitting in 5th position and stuff, just had some just challenging moments and stuff. But more if everything ever folds his way, he can be on the hot streak pretty quick. And so, as well as some of these other guys that you mentioned.
Very, very true there, man. It's one of those things, and while this has all been playing out, we're on lap 90 here, nearing that 10 to go before I think Chuck Sweeten's going to pit. It's about 1.5 seconds now back to Hunter Hayward and Steven Stippian. They are here now, and I tell you what, if Sweeney had no damage on this race car, this would have been a very interesting strategy. I think it could possibly play it out for him, because I don't know if these guys are going to be good on fuel, David. I'm still concerned a little bit from where they pitted on lap 73.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of share that as well. That's the question here towards the second half of the race. the fuel mileage part. How's it going to work out? And when will we see these guys have to drop down? Especially some of the guys that didn't quite make it. They had to stop on lap 73. Justin Malarkey, I mean, he made it to lap 76. That's with the caution and all that. So we'll see how he is able to do as we see the 48 and the 81 able to make their way past the Chuck.
There they go, up to the lead. Hunter Hayward and Steven Stimpy and Chuck Sweeney now slided back to third. We'll see when he decides to hit pit road. Right now, though, Hunter Hayward and Steven Stimpy didn't see mano a mano. They're going to have upwards of around 12 seconds back to the same drivers on the strategy as them. If they can make it to the end, it's going to be a battle between these two teammates, and it's already been somewhat of a battle so far. It seems like Stimpy is very strong in the early portion of the run, but Hayward was able to really gap him as the run went on last time. We'll see if it slides back into the hands of the 48 machine, or does the 81 take hold of it here this week.
Yeah, and one thing that Steve Stimpy has going for him this time that he didn't have last time is he's not battling somebody for second place, where before, prior to the stop, he was battling with Justin Malarkey, going back and forth on there, and that allowed for Hunter Hayward to kind of gap him. This time it's just him and Hunter Hayward. So we'll see as the run goes on, and maybe it's a little bit content sitting back there just trying to save some fuel.
That was very, very good point there, Dave. They battled so hard. I mean, it was 5 straight laps of side-by-side action between those two drivers, and that really held that 81 up, and could have been a potential spoiler there for that last run. This could be more into the shot of Steven Stimpy's hands. We've seen it at other tracks where tire wear comes into the play. He always seems like to be one of the best drivers when it comes to tire wear. So if it gets down to that point, it'll be interesting right now as they go to lap their teammate Dave Bush here in the 53 machine, put him 2 laps down here in 17.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting too, is if when we start getting closer and it comes time to Steve Stimpy or Hunter Hayward, whatever's running in second place, try to make the path. Is these guys are running, if you look, they're running just identical lines going into the corners and stuff. So I just kind of wonder is if any of them have tried something different to try and see where they're going to be able to make that path, especially Steve Stimpy, and if he's going to be behind Hunter Hayward, to try and figure out where he's going to be able to gain that additional grip or speed that he'll need to be able to try and make that pass.
And you can see, I mean, it's just so tough. You're going to have to set something up here if you're Steven Stimpy on the 48 Hayward. But we've seen also the biggest thing that I can say back from the past that Steven Stimpy has used. He used lap traffic. We've seen him doing exactly to the same man in front of the 48 Hunter Hayward and go himself and get a win with sticking this 48 behind in some lap traffic here and getting him stuck into it. So that could be a possible advantage he could be looking at to set a pick at some point. But we'll have to see is Stimpy all over the back deck lid, but just not close enough. He's that 2.5 car lengths back. That's not threatening. When he gets right to the bumper, that's when Hayward is going to really swim.
Yeah, and I think right now he is starting to search around because the lap previous, he went into the corner a little bit higher, as we see here. Went a little bit higher than Hunter Hayward did and then brought it down. So he might be searching right now to see, how his car is going to respond if he did a little bit different line. So he's got some time to try to figure it out. But again, going back to the question is, will these guys have enough fuel? If not, where will they be pitting?
Yeah, that's going to be. I think the other big question is, can the pass get made? But do they have enough fuel in the fuel tank here around lap 99? We're nearing that lap 100 point. It's going to be 50 to go here very soon. Right now, they're going to come across the line. 51 to go here at the Nashville Super Speedway. Hunter Hayward out front. Steven Stimpy in second. Chuck Sweeney still hanging on the third. So, man, if they don't make it on fuel, Chuck can still be looking at a top 3 here. So he's got to keep that in mind for him, even with all that damage. So a wild race nonetheless to say, with some of these drivers able to put themselves in position with a lot of damage.
Yeah, exactly. And just some opportunities opening up with the with the issue that happened to Mark Whitley. So that's going to give some of these other guys in the points an opportunity to try and close the gap up on him a little bit. But Steve Stimpy is still running up front. That gap between him and Mark Whitley will be able to grow. But as we can see here, just Steve Stimpy is really taking into that corner there and had to let off there coming off the exit.
Yeah, he's really trying to find something. He's trying to find clean air, roll the outer groove, get a little bit different arc, try multiple different things to attack this 48. But right now, nothing has been successful. Hunter Hayward still out front here on lap 102. We're going to head for our final commercial break of the night here, ladies and gentlemen, as we prepare to set up the final run of this race. Will we see somebody hit pit road? Do they have enough fuel? Find out here after we come back from commercial. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll be right back.
To be the best, you can't settle for the rest. There's a reason that McConey Setup Shop is trusted by more virtual and real-world tracks and companies than any other setup shop in iRacing. With partners such as Stafford Motor Speedway, the Nashville Fairground Speedway, Five Flag Speedway, Speed 51, and more. When you want something done right, you go to the experts at McConey Setup Shop.
With setups available for most series on both asphalt and dirt, built by a team of professional builders consisting of some of the top talents on the service, McConey Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to McConeySetupShop.com and learn why McConey Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at McConey Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Freaky Fast Broadcasting is brought to you by Uniformity. Uniformity is Jacksonville, Florida's best place to get medical scrubs and accessories. Uniformity is proud to be the official uniform provider for Baptist Health employees. Uniformity, scrubs, embroidery, and custom apparel. Thank you for being a proud sponsor here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Make sure you check out Uniformity. As we head back to the racing action on track, we're going to be looking at 40 to go. And they're hitting pit road right now, our top two. And I thought they wouldn't have enough fuel, David. They did.
Yeah, good call by yourself. And we saw on lap 101 that Chuck Sweeney also pitted, back on lap 101. So we'll see how this bears out for him. But yeah, our top 2 leaders, you were right, weren't going to be able to make it, and so here they are short pitting.
Hitting pit road here to get 4 tires and fuel. And these race cars, not enough. Did not have the caution to make it to the end here like they had in that first stint. This is going to transfer the lead over to Justin Malarkey's hands as he hangs on to it for the moment. And if I'm these other drivers, I'm looking to get to pit road pretty quickly. These 40 laps are going to flick by very fast.
Yeah, you got Justin Malarkey, who last pitted on lap 76. Kevin Roy last pitted on lap 72. And Dakota Bryant, who last pitted on 77. So, yeah, if they're going to have to make another pit, they're going to have to do it soon.
When will the pit stops happen for all these drivers? We're going to see what it all does go down here as we continue on here at the Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series here on Sunday nights at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Thank you all for tuning in here. We've had a great crowd here out tonight joining us in the chat, so thank you all for chatting it up. And if you haven't yet, make sure you hit that thumbs up button if you've enjoyed tonight's broadcast. And also, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe and bell notification button. That will help you stay notified when we go live here each and every night here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, where we bring action on Monday nights, Sunday nights, Wednesdays, and Thursdays coming soon again, and Saturdays. So it's a jam-packed week here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting with all types of sim racing. Make sure you hit that subscribe and bell notification button to be tuned in here to your favorite sim racing broadcaster.
Yeah, and feel free to jump in there on chat. We've seen some people talk about Michael Yarrow picking him, to win the race. Steve Sipian, Dave Bush, some of those other drivers mentioned in chat. So if you got a driver that you kind of looking for and cheering on, you post his name up there in the chat. And if you got a pick for tonight's race, let us know who that is.
Yeah, also definitely would love to hear from some of you guys out in chat if you're out there and hanging out with us here watching the race, what your thoughts are here tonight. And also, if you can check out our description down below, we got a lot of cool links down there that you can go check out. Not only we got our sponsors down there, but we also have our merch store where you can go get yourself some Freaky Fast merch. And man, I gotta tell you, definitely some great stuff over there. You also can go check out our website here, Freaky Fast Broadcasting, and also you can check out live timing and scoring that we have for these drivers of this racetrack, where you can follow along with your favorite drivers, their fastest laps, their previous lap, how long it's been since they last pitted, the gap to this driver. I mean, there's so much information there on that live time and scoring. It's such a useful tool for you to be able to follow along to the race and see everything that we may not be able to get pictured here tonight on the racetrack. So make sure you head out there into the description, check that out. And also got the league Discord there, or not league Discord, league website of Sim Racing Unleashed there. You can go check out. It's a beautiful website they got over there. But man, just got to thank all the fans for tuning in here tonight. It's been a pleasure to call as Malarkey continued on. Is he going to try this, David? He went to the 76 mark. I don't know. Without that caution, I don't see him being able to go 74.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to be in his helmet right now to see what he's thinking. But he's this is his first race with this series, so maybe he feels he's got he's got nothing to lose at this point. So he's going to try and run it out as far as he can, and maybe maybe he does think he has enough to make it. Maybe he's hoping for a late caution, but just kind of keep an eye on Hunter Hayward and Steve Sipian, and then Chuck. Hunter Hayward and Steve Sipian hitting a lap 110. Both of them are running a 29.67, and Justin Malarkey running a 30.60. So it's they're going to be catching him pretty quick as we continue to see that gap between them drop down between those guys.
Yeah, if Malarkey can save the fuel, that's going to be tough to be able to hold these guys off back only 15 seconds. If he would have been, right behind him instead of making that mistake on the first time on pit road, I think he'd have been in a good spot possibly to save enough fuel and even possibly hold on to the win. But right now, I don't know if the win's going to be available, but a good finish nonetheless if he can save this fuel as here he goes by Cedric Hunter, putting him a lap down there in that 6th spot.
Yeah, it's kind of the last thing he needs to is be racing side by side with somebody, which is just going to allow the other cars to catch up to him sooner. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to just decide, kind of see what Malarkey's strategy is here. Because if he felt he needed a pit, I would imagine he probably would have already done so. because if he pits later on now, he might not have enough laps to be able to get back up towards the front.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's such a questionable position to be in. Do you try to save the fuel? Do you do this? You gotta when you're a race car driver out there. This is the one thing I like to explain to people at home. When they're watching down here on the broadcast side of things. Us drivers most of the time are our crew chiefs, our whole, we're planning everything while we're driving. I mean, that adds a whole different element into it. And I gotta say, man, it's a big thing that a lot of people don't think about. You're kind of your whole crew and team yourself when you're out there racing. Now you can get help from the outside, but most drivers are doing it solo. So I mean, you gotta give them credit for the strategies, planning it out while they're on the fly, calculating fuel. It's definitely a gamble a lot of times, but at the moment right now, still cycling through pit stops. Right now, Malarkey, Dakota Bryant, they're the two yet to pit. Hunter Hayward in third, Steven Stippian in fourth. Those two 10 seconds back, working their way up from that pit stop. Will they have enough time here in the closing laps of this race? We're near 25 to go. It's going to get wild.
Yeah, and if Justin Malarkey doesn't have enough fuel to make it to the end, and Dakota Bryant doesn't have enough fuel to make it to the end, if they're going to have to start really going in the fuel saving mode, like you mentioned earlier, maybe they won't be able to get the win. But there's I think 5 cars on the lead lap, so if they can stay on the lead lap, they might be able to get a really solid finish there. But boy, it's definitely a gamble, and it'll be interesting to see between those two cars. Justin Malarkey and Dakota Bryant as to how their strategy plays out for them, because they're both running the same thing. Dakota has one more lap in at fuel than Justin Malarkey does.
Yeah, I feel better about Dakota Bryant making it than Justin Malarkey. Just that one extra lap of running is going to help Dakota a lot more. We've seen Dakota stretch the fuel farther than a lot of people have this season, so he's been one of the drivers to watch out for that type of strategy. Like I said, not going to be a race-winning strategy. The leaders of Hunter Hayward, Steven Stippian, right there, less than 4 seconds behind that 58 machine now for that second spot. But I tell you what, it's a track position gainer. It's a better position gainer if they can make the fuel mileage. But not only that, but if a caution does come out, they gain automatic track position, and that is a huge factor when it comes down to these races with this car.
Yeah, I kind of like the gamble that they're taking. It's something different. Again, going back to Justin, this being his first race in this league, and we saw him really having a battle out with Steve Stippian for several laps, 5-6 laps side by side. So I think he's coming in here and showing that he can run, and he can run clean. And now he's out here, throwing all the cards on the table, saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and sneak out of either my best finish or a win. Running this long out on fuel. So we'll see how it all plays out for him. But gutsy move, for Justin on his first race.
Yeah, it is a gutsy move. I mean, it could end up backfiring, or it could come back to pay off very big dividends right here. It's 24 to go. Hayward, Stippian, they're both 7 seconds back from the lead with 24 to go. Dakota Bryant 5.2 back from the lead, so really only 2 seconds ahead of those drivers for that second spot. It's looking like it's going to be a battle between Steven Stippian and Hunter Hayward. But I tell you what, if the caution was to come out, it would play a major factor into what goes down.
Yeah, 24 laps left to go here, and it's going to be exciting to watch these Hunter Hayward and Steve Stippian kind of work their way up to the front and try and battle it out. But there's a little bit of a gap between them as well. So this is probably the biggest gap we've seen in quite some time between these two guys.
Yeah, man, this is gonna be very close, I think, for these guys here. Is Hayward, we're watching him, he's closing in. There's Dakota Bryant right there battling with Larry Blair, who's a lap down. How does Hayward get around him? He's got the gap between him and Stippian. This is going to help him here as he goes to the inside. Dakota Bryant, major block there in the 58. Man, oh man, he did not let the 48 go by. Here's the 48 comes by on the inside here. He's going to have a major run, though, as Steven Stippian. This is what Stippian was looking for. Remember, we talked about lap traffic possibly playing a factor in this, and it's not lap traffic. It's racing for position as Bryant flips out of it. He's now back to fourth as the top two of Hayward and Stippian up to second and third here, and 21 laps to go. They're under 5 seconds to the leader.
And Dakota Bryant was not showing any love when it came to letting Hunter Hayward by. He definitely did all he could to try to keep him behind, and that opened the door, like you said, for Steve Stippian to close that door. So, these guys back to racing bumper to bumper with each other, with 21 laps to go. So we'll continue to see as the time keeps tracking down, keeps dropping down, and only 5 seconds back to Justin Malarkey.
Man, oh man, David, this is getting very, very interesting. 20 to go here. 4.4 is the gap back to Hayward. The lap time difference is around 1 second difference. So they're going to close in quickly, but man, they do have some major traffic with Larry Blair up in front of them, Cedric Hunter, and the 300 of Isaiah Sutherland.
Yeah, and it's kind of keeping an eye on the live timing there just to see how much time are they knocking off per lap. And it doesn't look like it's a big chunk that they're taking out. It's about a half a second or so a lap that they're knocking off. But it's only 3.5 seconds now left to Justin Malarkey and stuff. So again, you kind of touched on it. It might not be the winning move for Justin Malarkey, but with 19 laps left to go, it could be enough to get them a good solid finish.
Yeah, that's exactly, the big thing is see what type of finish they can pull off from here. 18 to go. It's going to be so close. 2.8 seconds to the lead now as Hayward, he's going to go by Chamberlain and Blair here as he comes off of 2. Here's Chamberlain first. Next going to be Blair's. Blair's directly ahead of him with some newer tires. It's, I think, helped pulling him around the racetrack even. So, now the next car up ahead of him, other than Larry Blair, is Justin Malarkey. And the thing is for Malarkey, if he does have the same fuel, he's not going to be able to fight once these guys get here. It's going to be a tough position for him.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure he's aware of that, and he's got to look at the big picture for himself now is what he's racing for. And if these guys, if and when they do catch him, trying to block him and hold him off, probably wouldn't be the best move for him. So you just got to race. Big picture, get that finish that he's looking for, and just kind of interesting to see that Chuck was having a good run there in the 75 car. Still running 5th place, but it looks like he's about 15, 18 seconds back now.
Yeah, he's not had the greatest, I think, pit stop sequence there, so I think it really threw him back farther than what he wanted. But right now, still 5th for Chuck Sweeney, so we'll see what he can produce here in the last 16 laps. And, if Malarkey and Bryan don't make it, he is in the top 3 there. I mean, he's got a sizable gap back to Euro, so it could be a top 3 for Sweeney. It could be a solid top 5 here as it stays green. 15 to go. Malarkey 1.7 seconds back to Hunter Hayward, who only turning 0.4 of a second quicker. I mean, the time between the drivers is getting less and less. If Malarkey can save enough, when Hayward gets to him, he may have a shot at this.
Yeah, last lap time for Justin Malarkey is a 30.66 and Hunter Hayward a 30.17. So just going in line there with what you were talking about as far as the gains that they're making. So it's not a huge gain, but it's down to less than a second and a half. So still plenty of time for those guys to continue to put that gap up on Justin Malarkey.
Dakota Bryant here in 4th. He's trying to stretch the fuel also. As we look back at Robbie Darnell in the 44, he's 1 lap down, but has broke himself into the top 10. It's been a good night for him there in that 44 machine, able to drive from 11th to 10th. As here comes the 300 of Isaiah Sutherland, 3 laps down, back in 17th, passing it by. It's going to be coming to 12 to go this next time by for Malarkey. It's within almost a half a second here as Hayward has closed the gap down, and he's done it too with importance. He's done it with about a second gap back to his teammate, who is going to be the one he's going to watch for. Hayward going to be looking for the race victory move here very soon out of 4.
Yeah, definitely looks inevitable for it to happen. I mean, it just clicking off the laps on him. 30-20 versus a 30-74. So, Malarkey just not going to have the car to be able to hold them off. So it'll be a matter of time before we see Hayward getting into the race lead. The question is will Steve Stippian have anything for Hunter Hayward here towards the end?
Yeah, that's going to be the big question here is Hayward all over the back deck lid of Malarkey. He's going to be looking to take the lead out of 4. And it's going to be 11 to go. Hunter Hayward taking the lead. And, man, what a move from him there to take that lead now as he takes it out front. Malarkey going to drop out to second. Steven Stippian in third.
Yeah, it's still just hats off there to Justin, just going out there leading several laps and stuff like that, and just putting this great pit strategy together to try and make it work. We'll see if it's going to play out. Still got 10 laps to go. To see if he's going to have enough fuel to make it. And the same with Dakota Bryant. He's up 11 spots since the start of the race. So just another good race for him. And then Michael Yaro still running inside the top 10 in 6th position. So some really good races for these guys. Good point stage for these guys. All except with the exception of Mark Whitley. Just thought it was a great point day for him tonight.
Yeah, it's going to come down to it here. Less than 10 to go. Hayward pulling the gap out front. Malarkey followed into the clutches of the teammate as Steven Stippian, the Smoky 200 nearing the finish line here as Steven Stippian closes in. But does Malarkey have enough fuel? That, man, it's going to be questionable for him. Dakota Bryant right now in 4th. It's going to be questionable for him also. Back to 5th is Chuck Sweeney, 18.1 seconds back. If the two ahead of him run out of fuel, he's going to be in 3rd. It could be shaky here. As off of 4, Stippian going to be looking to take 2nd place from Malarkey. They had a heck of a battle earlier in the race. Now they're going to have a short little one here with 8 to go as Stippian takes over 2nd.
Yeah, I just kind of have the feeling that Malarkey's pretty confident he's got enough for the end, because you would think that if he didn't have enough for the end and really need to go in fuel save mode, he would already have done so, because he's got a 4-second gap back to Dakota Bryant, and he would have tucked in right behind Stippian a little bit earlier to try and get that draft to save as much fuel as possible. So the fact that he did not do that just kind of leads me to believe that he's pretty confident he's got enough to make it to the end.
Yeah, I would think so. That's got to be a telltale sign, possibly with 7 to go here. So we'll see what plays out here. It looks like Hayward, though, he's done his best job to just get away. As he's kind of stuck behind Larry Blair, but I think he'll be possibly getting by him in the next few moments. There'll be 6 to go here for Hunter Hayward, looking for back-to-back victories. And, man, I tell you what, if Hayward would have been here all season, he could have been up in the points also. He's still trying to make those playoffs, though.
Yeah, he's definitely making a run to try and get into the playoffs, and doing it by the best way you can. Is that's go out there and win races, and he's out there doing so, and leading this race here. And Steve Stippian as well. He's not he's not pulling over for anybody. He's been running up there in the top position at points, and week in and week out, he's just been doing a phenomenal job. And just had some issues last week that he covered really well this week.
Yeah, he definitely has recovered well after last week in Martinsville. Did not have the best of races for this points leader here. Up to this point, though, it's been a solid season. Entered last week in Martinsville with 6 top 5s and 6 top 10s for the first 6 races. They do a haul of ride there at Martinsville. But here tonight, going to be able to rewrite maybe some of those bad misdues there at Martinsville, and going to be able to grow his points lead as his rival Mark Whitley this season. He was out of this race early with contact with Cedric Hunter. 4 to go. Hunter Hayward looking to bring it home.
Yeah, he's in the catbird seat now. Just got to be able to continue to hit his marks and just bring it home. Kind of be cautious when you get up to those lap down cars and stuff. And hopefully hope they give you the lane to be able to go make it way around. But 3 laps, coming to 3 laps to go here. And long as he doesn't make any mistakes, he's in a good seat there. But we see Dakota Bryant has come into the pit road.
Yeah, Dakota Bryant, not enough fuel for him with 3 to go. Not enough saved. Will Malarkey have enough? He pitted 1 lap before the 37. He's pitting at 3 to go. I don't know if Malarkey's going to have enough for this finish. We'll have to see. But off of turn 4, Hayward's going to see 2 to go. Malarkey's going to say, can I please just make it back here, as Sweeney's going to be hoping for that 37 to stumble.
Yeah, just kind of keeping an eye on his lap times there. His last lap time was a 37.7, so I don't know if he's clutching it when he's going into the corners or stuff, but his lap times aren't that far off. So again, it just kind of leads me to believe he feels he's got enough to go, or maybe he's got his eyes closed and his hands put together, praying that he's got enough to make it. But all signs show right now that he's got enough to go.
Freaky fast, white flag in the air. One final lap here to go at the Nashville Superspeedway for the Smoke Inc. 200. If you want your name or logo on our Freaky Fast white flag, hit us up on our social media pages as they head out of turn 2. Hunter Hayward, what a comeback to the SRU it's been. Last week, he could say possibly wasn't going to be a race he thought he'd win. He was 2 laps down. He got the win there. But tonight, it's a dominating performance. Once he got to the lead, he never relinquished it. Hunter Hayward goes back-to-back and wins here in Nashville.
What a job of those two guys. And Justin Malarkey does bring it home in third spot. Had enough fuel to make it to third place. So great showing for him.
What a job by Malarkey to save the fuel, only 4.7 back. I mean, at the end of the day, that's a net gain for Malarkey here as this 2 teammates celebrate after they get the 1-2 for the Smoke Inc. 200. Here is, that's got to be a special feeling as Malarkey, though. What a debut for him here at SRU.
Yeah, I'm sure he's pretty happy with that debut. So it'll be fun to talk to him up here in the booth and just kind of talk to him about his fuel and how much fuel he has left. But man, hats off to Hunter Hayward, another outstanding performance. T-Cyprian as well, just really class of the field and just did a phenomenal job on the track.
Here it is, the 48 of Hunter Hayward celebrating on the front straightaway as he's winning race number 2 here this season at the Sim Racing Unleashes Cup Series. What a drive it was for this young man, the 48, to bring home that 1-2 with the Smoke Inc. team as he celebrates on the front stretch. We're going to go find our top 3 drivers to have a quick chat with them. We'll be back in a few moments, everybody, as we get our top 3 drivers up here for their interviews. All right, we are back here, everybody, after our Smoke Inc. 200 here tonight at the Nashville Super Speedway. We got our top 3 finishers up here in the booth, ready to have a chat with myself, as we got our 3rd place man, Justin Malarkey, a debut here at Sim Racing Unleashed. What a debut it was. He's able to stretch the fuel and bring it home in 3rd. Let's hear from the 37 machine. Hey, Justin, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man.
Zach, what's going on?
Hey, man, long time no hear, man. I tell you what, great to hear your voice again, buddy. But I tell you what a debut for yourself, man. Not only able to bring home this 3rd spot, but running up front in those top 3 positions for majority of the night, man. And, you know, just what a great showing. And explain to us how you stretched the fuel there, because we were very concerned. You know, you had that caution in the first run there to really help to get to that halfway point. You hit it pit road at lap 76. Another driver hit pit road at lap 77. It didn't work out for them. So, man, you were the only one to make it work. How does that feel?
You know what, Zach, I was just talking to Hunter and Steven before. I ended up getting into the wall like on lap 45, and I saw the fender crinkled up, and then I couldn't stay with the draft anymore. And like on 45, I went into fuel saving mode because I was like, if I can make it to 76, maybe I can sneak it to 74 on the flip on the 2nd run, and it worked out perfectly. But they caught me anyway, so it almost worked out. But yeah, I started saving actually from lap 45 on.
Well, man, it definitely played out very well for you there. Able to save the fuel, stretch the distance, and like you said, you got into the wall there. You dropped back about 4 seconds, and even after that pit stop sequence, you were farther back than that. So a net gain at the end of the day. Possibly, if you went farther back after that first pit stop, it could have possibly been a different picture, man. But I tell you what a debut for yourself here to get home 3rd here at the Nashville Super Speedway. Now we're going to be back, though, next week at the Bristol Motor Speedway, man. I'm telling you what, how you feel about going in there mentally and physically prepared for that thing?
Well, seeing how much that little wall bounce did with the damage tonight, I'm making sure I'm not going to touch that wall next week at Bristol. But it should be fun. Bristol's a really super fun track, and these cars with the grip they have, it should be pretty intense.
Yeah, it's going to be intense for sure, buddy. I cannot wait to get there to Bristol, Tennessee next week. But, man, tell you what, congrats on 3rd here tonight, Justin. What a debut, like I said, for you here at Sim Racing Unleashed. It's more to come for sure. Before we let you get out of here and go get prepared for Bristol next week, anybody want to send a shout out to, buddy?
Yes, definitely to you guys and the league, because I really wanted to get in this league. I hear it's awesome, and I watched the races. It looks great, and I'm so excited to be in it. So I look forward to doing all the races. So thanks again for vouching for me there, and thanks to the league owners for getting me in. And look forward to everyone racing next week.
Awesome stuff, Justin, man. Well, congrats on 3rd. We'll catch you next week in Bristol. You have a fantastic night, man.
Thank you. You too.
All right, everybody. That's your 3rd place driver, Justin Malarkey, here tonight in his debut at Sim Racing Unleashed. He's able to bring home a 3rd. But here, I mean, one of the all-time greats at Sim Racing Unleashed. Here it is, Steven Stippian in 2nd, your points leader. He should have grown the points lead here tonight. Let's hear from him in the 81. Hey, Steven, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man.
Zachary.
Hey, man, I tell you what, good run for yourself. Bounce back after last week's first really big boo-boo of the season, I'd say. You entered last week 6 top 5s, 6 top 10s in that 7th race. Did not go your way, my friend, at Martinsville. It was a tough night. But here in Nashville, able to bounce back and get the 1-2 for Smoke Inc. at the Smoke Inc. 200. How does that feel, man?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about last week. That was a tough week last week, obviously, but good bounce back. Felt good to be back in the top 5 this week. I like Nashville. Nashville was fun. Good track, especially with these cars. Actually, kind of race them a little bit. Wish Willie didn't get taken out there. I kind of want this to be a battle, but when he got taken out, I kind of took it easy. Wasn't really, I didn't want to make any mistakes like last week. So it's kind of more conservative race and get some points ground on him.
Yeah, definitely built some points up there on the 77 of Mark Whitley there, man. So good night for you there in the points before we head off in throughout the rest of the season, man. I mean, we had Martinsville. It was a tough one for you last week. How do you feel about entering that Bristol Motor Speedway? I mean, that place can be a great place for you, I feel like, but it also could end up being something similar to Martinsville. What do you feel about entering there in this position?
I just looked at the points. Got 23 points on mark right now, so I'll take that. Last time we did Bristol, I actually ended up with a blown engine similar to Martinsville last week. So hopefully I can turn that around going into Bristol. Just hit my marks and hopefully get another top 5. I love Bristol. I love racing Bristol, so don't want to end the race early like the last time we were there last season. So.
Oh man, I tell you what, it'll be fun to watch next week. Everybody, make sure you tune into that to see what these guys can do at Bristol. As Stimpy was able to bring home that second place position here tonight to strengthen that points lead, man. But before we let you get out of here and go get ready for Bristol next week, anybody want to send a shout out to my friend for the Smoking 200 here tonight?
Yeah, it's good to obviously. I think this is becoming a trend. I got to sponsor more races because every time we sponsor races, we end up with a top 2 or top 3. So can't complain about that. Obviously, shout out to you guys doing what you guys do week in, week out. Great broadcast as always, and the league. Happy to be a part of this league. Been with them for 4 or 5 seasons now. It's great league. If anybody's watching out there, feel free to reach out to me, join in. And obviously my family out there, my dad watching, my beautiful fiance, Kayla, my son that's sleeping, little guy's sleeping. He had a busy day today. But look forward to Bristol next week, and hope you guys have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too, Stephen, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you, buddy. Have a great week, and we'll catch you at the Bristol Motor Speedway on next Sunday, man.
Sounds good, man. Thank you.
All right, everybody. That was your second place finisher and your points leader, Steven Stippian in the 81 machine. Let's go ahead and move on up to our race winner back to back here at Sim Racing Unleashed. That's Hunter Hayward. Let's hear from the 48 machine. Hunter Hayward, is Zach up in the booth? You got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, I tell you what, back to back wins, man. I know last week in Martinsville was kind of one of those wins that was a attrition race. You got out there and you took hold of what you got. Here tonight, though, man, dominant performance. We've seen the incident between the top 2 runners there, Cedric Hunter and Mark Willie. Ever since you took the lead from there, though, it was a dominant performance. Take us through your Nashville win here tonight, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really fun track. I like how you kind of had to drive the car a little bit more with the lower downforce. You can pull away a little bit easier. Obviously, the draft is still pretty strong here, as you could tell. But, I mean, yeah, I saw Whitley and Cedric get together, and I guess it didn't throw out a caution. I guess they were able to keep it on the track. Obviously, both of those cars were extremely damaged, and kind of Cedric didn't have the best of luck at all today because no cautions came off the rest of him. So really unfortunate to see the 11 make his return back at SRU and unfortunately did not have the best of luck today. So still feel bad for that 11 team. But I mean, overall today we just stayed in front the whole time after that wreck in front of us. And fortunately enough, I was just able to keep the tires below us and hold off everyone behind me.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, you're on somewhat of a roll here. Like I said, 2 in a row. Martin's last week, that one definitely a wild card race that you were able to bring home the win there. But here tonight, like I said, dominant performance. But another wild card does loom next week after our Thanksgiving week coming up here. Man, we got the Bristol Motor Speedway, Hunter. It's Robert calls it the fishbowl because he wants to fill it up with water. But I mean, it is such a tough track, not only physically, hard to get around, but mentally, just due to, how close we are with our competition. How you feel about going into that half mile there at Bristol next week?
Well, it's a great car to drive it in. I like how you can drive it a little bit harder and a little bit quicker here in this next-gen car. So I'm looking forward to it. I like that track. It's a great track. Definitely a driver's track. It's kind of like Darlington where you make one mistake that can lead into others. So you just really got to be on your game all race that time. I know Whitley's really strong there, and so is Stimpy, and so it's gonna be a great race, and I'm looking forward to it. Not too many races after that until we actually have that break after that race as well for a couple weeks. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the next race at Bristol and the next races to come as well. We got some interesting tracks coming up in the schedule.
That we do, Hunter. I tell you, it's going to be an interesting time of the season for sure. But tonight was your win, your second in a row. Congrats on that, buddy. Before we let you get out here and go celebrate this thing, anybody wants to send a special shout out to?
Yeah, just all my family out there. I love all y'all. Everybody in this league has let me in. My teammates out there, Stimp and Dave. We had a great day today. 1-2 with Stimp, and unfortunately not the best of luck for Dave today. So hopefully we can get a good recovery and finish 1-2-3 next week at Bristol. Everybody in this league as well who let me in. Still praying for Stephen Leffler to get better every single day. You guys are freaking fast, doing a great show. Looking forward to watching it back again. Hope everybody out there watching, including everybody in this league, you, Robert, David, Zach, hope you all have a great Thanksgiving with all your family, and have many things to be thankful for. Definitely thankful for all you guys out here. So, yeah, also a quick shout out to my sponsor, PlanBSales.com. Go check out Plan B Sales. Actually, a sale going on right now for the holiday season. Black Friday's coming up as well as Christmas. So go to PlanBSales.com if you're looking for any racing memorabilia for diecasts, shirts, hats, anything for any type of motorsport you enjoy, from dirt racing to NASCAR to Formula One to IndyCar. Just check them out and see if there's anything you'd enjoy for any racing memorabilia, and go use code HH48, HH as in Hunter Hayward 48, and check out for free shipping on $20 on orders $20 and over. So go check them out, and yeah.
Alrighty, Hunter. Congrats, buddy, again, once again on the win. We will catch you at Bristol next week. You have a great night, man.
All right, thank you. You too.
All right, everybody. That was our race winner, 2 in a row for the number 48 of Hunter Hayward, able to bring home the race victory here tonight, the Smoke Inc. 200 here at the Nashville Super Speedway. But man, oh man, thank you all for tuning in. It was a pleasure to call here tonight. Before we're gonna bring up our race results here so you can see where your drivers finished out tonight's broadcast. Hunter Hayward able to bring home that second race victory in a row. Steven Stimpy and his teammate going to finish out the 1-2 there for Smoke Inc. Third is going to go to Justin Malarkey in his debut. Fourth is going to be Chuck Sweeney. Fifth is going to go to Larry Blair. Sixth is going to go to Michael Yarrow. Seventh is going to be Dakota Bryant. Eighth is going to be Brad Delph. Ninth is going to be Mark Koschik. And rounding out your freaky fast top 10 is Robbie Darnell in the 44 machine as we look through the rest of your race results here tonight. Some of the ones that definitely stick out is going to be that 11 machine of Cedric Hunter. Again, contact between him and the 21st place finisher Mark Willey coming in here tonight, second in points. That was a huge break for those two, putting themselves in the wall, and major damage for those two as they make contact. Also, Jason Adams having another good run, 20th to 11th, just making his way through the field, is third in points through the season. He's continuing his strong runs up through the field. But what a season it's been. Me and David have had a great time up to this point. 8 races through here at Sim Racing Unleashed. We head to Bristol next week. David, any final thoughts on the Nashville Super Speedway before we head out of here to head to the last great Coliseum?
Yeah, just a heck of a race put on by these guys, and congratulations to Hayward, just getting his second win, just like that. Just a phenomenal job. He and Steve Stimpian just doing a phenomenal job there, and Steve being able to recover from last week. And unfortunately, not such a great night for Mark Whitley. Just another tough week for him, and it's kind of rolled him back to 23 points now behind on Steve Stimpian. But next week we go into into Bristol. It's going to be another great short track racing. It's going to be a lot of close racing, and definitely going to be some contact. So if you like short track racing, definitely don't miss this. It's going to be exciting. All these great drivers, and I want to take this opportunity to just be my last broadcast before the Thanksgiving break. So just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and all the drivers out there, all the fans, Zach, to you, and Robert, to you as well. So been a lot of fun already this year, and looking forward to coming back after the Thanksgiving break and seeing some more exciting racing.
Yeah, I got to echo those statements, David. Everybody definitely have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I mean, it's been a pleasure up to this point to call all the action with you guys up here in the booth and all the drivers out there on the racetrack and at each and every one of our leagues. So, it's been a pleasure. This is the only one we actually got this week, so it's going to be a long week all for us here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But I tell you what, it's going to be a special week, as like you said, it's Thanksgiving. So make sure you give thanks to all your friends and family out there, and are sharing it with your loved ones, because this is the most special time of the year. But again, thank you all for tuning in. It's been a pleasure to call all the action here tonight, the Nashville Super Speedway for the Smoke Inc. 200. If you haven't yet, make sure to hit that thumbs up button to show that you enjoyed our broadcast here tonight. And also, if you haven't yet, hit the subscribe and bell notification button to subscribe to our broadcast and be notified each and every time we go live. And why not share it also to your friends and family to show them the best sim racing broadcaster on the internet. So thank you all for tuning in. Let's send it up to Robert Moore Jr. to close out tonight's broadcast with our producer.
All right. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, David. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, like Zach said and David said, first of all, I want to say to David and Zach, happy Thanksgiving to you guys and your family and friends, and hopefully you guys enjoy the good old meal and don't get too fat and eat a lot of junk food. As for dessert-wise, we'll see how that goes, right? But yeah, so what they were saying is out there, we do want to say happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays to your loved ones, to your friends and family out there. Hopefully everybody has a great Thanksgiving. Like Zach said, we are off all week, so we will not be back live until next Sunday, actually. We are off Monday night. We're going to be off this Wednesday night, and we're off Saturday night, and then off our usual days through the week. So we want to wish everybody again, a happy Thanksgiving, and don't eat too much and enjoy your loved ones. And we didn't get to enjoy this too much last year as we had the COVID, but you know what? We're back to the normal here, and we get to spend time with loved ones and friends and family. But with that being said, hopefully everybody has a great night, and we'll catch you on to the next one next week. You know how to hit us up if you have any questions. You can hit us up on your social media platform at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, as Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and we'd be more than willing to answer any questions that you have out there. And also make sure you check out our Facebook. We have a lot going on our Facebook right now. If you're interested in seeing some racing news, the next gen, real life talk going on there. We got league images, pictures, upcoming events, a whole bunch of stuff that goes on our Facebook page. So go over there and make sure you give that a like and a follow. If this is your first time here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, or if you haven't done that yet, we do much appreciate it. And like Zach said, make sure you share this to your friends and family, and to your favorite social media platform of your choosing. We do much appreciate it. But anyways, with that being said, from here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, like we always like to end our stream here at Freaky Fast, we want to say to everybody out there, have a great night, and we will catch you next Sunday. God bless everybody. We love you all. Peace out.